Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jules and I'm here to do a cozy mystery vlog. I'm very excited. I haven't done one in a while. I'm feeling all the cozies. I'm feeling like I want to read all the cozies. So I have already started Beauty Expo's Our Murder and I'm already well over 50% through this book, y'all. I'm flying through it. But this is the 6th book in the Poppy Mallister series. I love this series. It is so funny. I have given every book in this series so far 5 stars. And I'm getting the same vibe from this one. Obviously, there's not a lot that I'm going to be able to tell you about, like, her love life relationship and what's going on with that, because it's kind of progressive as the story goes on. So the main character in this is Poppy Mallister. She lives with her Aunt Jenny, and they run a B&B. And so the very first book is Class Reunions or Murder. Highly recommend picking it up and starting it if you haven't read it. So each story is basically just different themed around different characters that come stay at the B&B and then the shenanigans they get up to. Her Aunt Jenny is a hoot, and her Aunt Jenny's friends, the old biddies is what she calls them. So this one says, Easter weekend on the Jersey Shore is hopping. Poppy's bed and breakfast is busier than ever, but she needs to leave things in the hopefully capable hands of Aunt Jenny and paws of Figaro, the black smoke Persian. She's selling her paleo muffins and keto cookies at the Health and Beauty Expo in Cape May's Convention Hall. Normally sharing a booth with the love of her life would be a treat, but she's recently discovered secrets that throw her new romance into chaos. But more secrets are about to be exposed at the expo. So most of this story is obviously told at this expo. So one of the main cosmetic surgeons at this convention ends up dead. There have been people that have been like threatening him and like saying that he's a fraud and all kinds of things. There's also a little side investigation that Poppy gets roped into. So the detective, Amber, that she used to go to high school with and also had a run-in with at the very beginning of this series, that she's the one that arrested her for the murder. She's kind of helping her with something. So as the series progresses, Amber starts going to her for help on the investigations or just snooping, things like that. Well, Amber has found herself in some hot water with something. She's getting framed for something and she needs Poppy's help. So it's kind of fun. Y'all, these books just crack me up. The analogies that she says, or the like little witty remarks about things, like I just can't. I'm just cackling at this book all the time. So as we go through the series, her love life kind of like progresses. Like she's just kind of in a limbo on a couple of different people. And so this one actually, well, the one before this, she actually decided who she was going to be with, and then some other secrets came about, and now this book is kind of focusing on fleshing out that secret. But yeah, I'm having a really good time with it, y'all. And I did notice that in the back there are recipes. So the very first recipe, and I think I'm gonna make it this weekend, is Poppy's chicken salad. I don't know about anybody else, but I love, and it's so weird because I was just at the store and I picked up a small tub of chicken salad and I was like, oh, it's not as good as like a homemade chicken salad. But I love a good chicken salad on a croissant. So good. But this one has chicken, celery, scallions, apple, dried cherries, pistachios, mayonnaise, salt, and pepper. It sounds so good, y'all. I'm going to make this weekend for sure. And we'll have to see how it turns out. And now that I have all of these books, because I just bought all of them physically, I'm going to go back through the ones I've read and look at the recipes and see if there's anything in them that I want to make. I'll check back with you guys later on my final thoughts on this book. Hello, I am back with updates. I ended up finishing this book Friday, literally right as I was getting on sprints with Hannah and Keisha. I had like 1 page left, and so I popped into the back area of StreamYard and was like finishing it while, you know, they were on there. So I finished this and I ended up giving this one 5 stars. Like I said, I love this series. I love all of the characters in this. I love following them along their journeys. I don't foresee me giving any of these less than 5 stars. But anyway, there was just some comical things in here. This book is set around Easter time, and Aunt Jenny has a big blow-up bunny that she puts out in her front yard, and somebody is like going by and like shooting at it with like a BB gun or something and popping it, and she's just getting so mad about it, and then they keep having to repair it. But it's just kind of funny when she's like, they shot my bunny. It's So funny. I don't even know what she calls him, but she has a name for her bunny. Yeah, she's just so dramatic sometimes, and it is so funny. And then one other guest that has come to stay during this has a big like Persian cat. It's like a big floofy white cat that is in like a cat show. I don't know, like a pedigree type cat contest or whatever. And then the owner is just talking about how, oh, her cat has to eat a certain diet for her coat and her skin, and she's only allowed certain things. And at one point, Poppy walks in the kitchen and the cat's chowing down on just some like canned fancy feast, and she starts freaking out. And she says to the other lady that's at the B&B, she's like, you can't feed their cat. And she's like, I didn't. I fed your cat. And he's just sitting back watching her eat the food. So her cat has this little romance with this floofy white cat, and they're always running off doing crazy things, and she's trying to keep her cat away from the cat. It's funny. And then I took a pause yesterday from cozy reading because I needed to fulfill a prompt for Battleship, so I listened to a different book yesterday. But then today I started Leslie Meyer's Birthday Party Murder. So this one is book, I think this is book 9. Yeah, so this is book 9 in the series. So this one says, the whole town of Tinker's Cove is looking forward to the celebration marking former librarian Tilly's 90th birthday. Lucy Stone, Miss Tilly's closest friend, dreamed up the party idea. At about the same time, she decided she's not getting old without a fight. That sounds like a plan until Lucy realizes her daughter's 14th birthday bash, a co-ed sleepover, may turn her hair white overnight. What was she thinking when she agreed to let Sarah have the party? On her mind instead was the shocking death of Sherman Cobb, the town's oldest attorney, and apparent suicide. His law partner, however, thinks Sherman was murdered. Poking about in Sherman's papers, Lucy turns up an intriguing tie between the dead man and Miss Tilly. Meanwhile, Miss Tilly's own past has come back to haunt her in the form of a mysterious niece named Shirley and a biker great-nephew named Snake. Soon, no one can get to see elderly librarian because the brash, bossy Shirley says she's failing. Now, as the killer's ruthless plan rushes toward a conclusion, Lucy needs answers fast, or else she and Miss Tilly won't live long enough to make a wish and blow out the candles on this year's birthday cake. So I'm about 50% through this one already. These are really fast reads. So Miss Tilly is obviously a character who has been mentioned in every single book. So she is a very prominent character in these books. So, and she's a hoot. So I'm just now at the part where obviously she's doing some investigating about Sherman. They don't think he committed suicide, and Miss Tilly's niece, supposed niece, has come in. So Miss Tilly didn't even know she had a niece. So apparently her older sister was like ousted by her dad from the family because of something she did. And so she didn't know her sister forever. And, yeah, I'm kind of suspicious thinking this niece is not really a niece. That's kind of all I really know right now. So I'm thinking this vlog is just going to be my favorite cozy authors vlog because I've already read this one by Libby Klein. I've got this one by Leslie Meyer. My next up is a Joanne Fluke one, and then I have another Leslie Meyer one that I'm hoping to get to next week. So I'm pretty sure this is just going to be my favorite ladies in this vlog. But so, and I haven't made the chicken salad from this yet. I'm going to go to the store today and get the stuff for that. But right now I'm doing some scrapbooking. So I'm going to continue listening to this while I scrapbook. And then, yeah, I'll be back later when I have some thoughts. I'm back with some updates. I ended up making the chicken salad from the Beauty Exposer Murder book, and it was really good. I've been eating on it for several days. It's pretty good. And then I did finish Birthday Party Murder. this was a really fast read. I honestly ended up listening to this in a whole day, but it wasn't long enough for me to log it for Battleship. I burned through this book and then I went to log it and I was like, oh. So this didn't count for Battleship, but it's okay because I wanted to read it anyway, because this book is before Father's Day Murder, which is the next book in the series, and I wanted to read it because Father's Day is coming up. So it all worked out. I didn't enjoy this one as much as some of the other ones, but Lucy obviously was suspicious of the niece as well, so she was doing some digging into things. And then the niece's son shows up, so they're like literally living there and say they're taking care of Miss Tilly, but nobody's seen Miss Tilly. And she's like always turning everyone away when they come, saying that she's not feeling well or she's sleeping or whatever, and they just won't let anyone see her. And of course, Lucy's like telling the police, she's like, go do a welfare check, go check on them. And then like another elderly service, they're like, well, if you didn't actually see her being like hurt or anything, like they can't really do anything. So basically they're saying, since it's family, like the family doesn't have to present her to anybody, that they, can do whatever they want because they're family. And I was like, well, that's kind of scary. But Lucy does not take that for an answer, and she breaks in to find out what's going on with Miss Tilly. So that was pretty funny. And obviously Lucy figured out what happened with the murder of the attorney and some things that like tied in with Miss Tilly. And then they did end up having Miss Tilly's big birthday bash at the end. It was okay. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. And then I did go ahead and start Key Lime Pie Murder by Joanne Fluke. So this one says, it promises to be a busy week for Hannah Swinson. Not only is she whipping up treats for the Chamber of Commerce booth at the Tri-County Fair, she's also judging the baking contest, acting as a magician's assistant for her business partner's husband, trying to coax Moisha, that's her cat, to end his hunger strike, and performing her own private carnival act by juggling the demands of her mother and sisters. With so much on her plate, it's no wonder Hannah finds herself on the midway only moments before the fair closes for the night. After hearing a suspicious thump, she goes snooping, only to discover Willa Sunquist, a student teacher and fellow bake contestant judge, dead alongside an upended key lime pie. But who would want to kill Willa, and why? Now Hannah needs to crank up the heat, hoping that Willa's killer will get rattled and make a mistake. If that happens, she intends to be there, even if it means getting on a carnival ride that could very well be her last. Y'all, I think I'm gonna try and make a key lime pie. I'm a little nervous, but some of these recipes sound really good in this book. I know I've mentioned this before, but when I read Joanne Fluke books, I love that the recipes are scattered throughout the book. Like, as you're reading and she's talking about this recipe with whatever, or she made it for whatever, and then it gives you the recipe. But it does have the index of recipes in the back and tells you what page to go find them. But there's a recipe for some pineapple delights. They're like pineapple cookies that sound so good. I feel like they're like oatmeal raisin cookies, but without the raisins, and in place they have pineapple. Like they have dried pineapple in them and coconut, and they sound good, but nobody here is going to eat them. So I don't know if I'm gonna make those or not. So this book has Swedish oatmeal cookies, pineapple delights, walnut date chews, key lime pie, mock apple pie, Bernadette's popovers, fancy butters for popovers, breakfast omelet, cappuccino royales, mango bread, peach bread, spicy dreams, Kitty's orange cake, chippers, blonde chippers, and Ruby's deep fried candy bars. I ain't trying to deep fry nothing. I would make a mess, but there's some good sounding recipes in this book. Yeah, so I am not very far into this yet. So basically it's just setting the scene of the carnival, and Hannah's going to be a judge for the baking competition, which I would love to be a judge on a baking competition. Like, that sounds delicious. But so we have that, and like her trying to sneak getting a deep fried candy bar from one of the vendors without like anyone seeing her, because she's, doesn't want to get caught eating bad when she's supposed to be losing weight. So no real thoughts on anything. The murder hasn't happened yet, but yeah, I will be back when I have some more thoughts on this book for you. Hello friends, I am here with some updates. I am running some errands. I just picked up crumble cookie for Father's Day for my husband. So the cookies look really good. Most of them are ones that I think he will like, but there is a raspberry lemonade one that is for me. but they look really good. I'll have to show you guys when I get back home. But so I just picked that up, and then now I am running to the supplement store to get some protein powder because I'm out and I have to make my husband his protein donuts because he actually has to work tomorrow, unfortunately. Hopefully he doesn't have to work Sunday. He said he might have to. I'm hoping not. So I need to do that, and then I have to go get crickets for Karma, the chameleon, because my daughter was supposed to go get them yesterday, and she thought she was off work, and she was not off work. So she got a text from the boss saying, "Where are you at?" And she was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I don't work on Thursdays." And then lo and behold, she was scheduled. And so she had to rush around and go, which this is the only time she has ever done this. She has never done this before. She has never been late in her life. The boss wasn't mad at her. She's like, "It's fine." So my daughter had a smidgy-midge of a meltdown yesterday because she did not want to go into work. But at least she only had to work for like 5 hours. And why do I keep getting spam calls? Like, for real? I have gotten so many spam calls today, it is ridiculous. At least like 6 in the past couple hours. Anyway, I just keep blocking them all. But yeah, so she was having a little bit of a rough day yesterday. So she, and then they had so my daughter works at a bowling alley. She's a manager at a bowling alley. So they had a really rowdy bunch at the bowling alley. So needless to say, she was not thrilled to be working yesterday. But so then she also had to work today. So she didn't have time to go get the crickets. So I am going to get the crickets. So that's what I'm doing right now. But update on the book on key lime pie murder. I am at 45%, and we just recently have come across the body, which is surprising because usually you don't get to almost halfway through the book without there being a body. But I don't mind it. I've been enjoying, all the talk of the festival and the desserts that they've been judging. So that's been fun. And it just so happened that Hannah was there when the murder happened, but the murderer didn't know she was there, I don't think. She didn't see who did anything, but she heard it. Now we're obviously going to get the sleuthing part of it. And yeah. And I'm assuming Hannah's going to be in danger because somebody's going to find out that she was actually there when it happened, and they're probably going to try and silence her. So it's a good one, and I am going to try. I did get the ingredients to try to make the key lime pie. We're going to see how it turns out. I'm going to hopefully make it tomorrow or Sunday. So cross your fingers. Box of deliciousness. So we have a churro cake, raspberry lemonade, dirt cup cookie, a peanut butter brownie, s'mores cookie, and a French toast cake thing. Delicious. Hello friends, coming in with a quick update. Happy Saturday. I finished Key Lime Pie Murder, and it wasn't one of my favorites, but I still enjoy like following all the characters because I already know most of them, and so just kind of following the ins and outs of what they're doing. But the plot was just kind of okay. I did still enjoy like the festival and the judging of the baked goods, and they did talk about the rodeo that was in there and like the games and stuff. It wasn't like heavy carnival fair talk, but there was some of it. And obviously they were talking about these deep fried candy bars, and I read the recipe and I'm like, that just seems like a hot mess express. Even though I didn't love the story, I still really had a good time with the recipes that are thrown in and them talking about the baked goods. So I literally could just listen to a whole book of just recipes, an audio book of recipes. Obviously I'm continuing the series because I own them and I love the series and I love all the characters. So the next book I picked up is Leslie Meyer's Father's Day Murder, because Father's Day is tomorrow. This one says, when her part-time reporting gig gives Lucy the opportunity to attend a Boston newspaper conference, she looks forward to the vacation from domestic bliss. But upon leaving Tinker's Cove, she quickly discovers that alone time can be kind of lonely. And in between workshops and panel discussions, Lucy takes a guilt trip. She feels terrible that she won't be home to help her husband celebrate Father's Day. But when Luther Reed, head of a nearly bankrupt newspaper dynasty, suddenly drops dead, Lucy has other things to think about. Murder, for instance. She's not buying the theory that Luther died of an asthma attack. The man just had too many enemies. Always the intrepid Snoop, Lucy vows to investigate, but she can't help wondering if her name will end up on the byline or in an obit. So Lucy does have a part-time job at the local newspaper, and she just does reporting on, like, you know, local things that are happening. So I did start this one already. I'm only like 20% in, so she has already gone. The thing that okay, while I do like this series, and I do like Lucy and the kids, I don't like her husband. So the way that Leslie Meyer writes Bill, her husband, is that he's like the husband who expects his wife to be home taking care of their family and him. So like when she wants to do things that, and I'm a very independent person, so like that might be why it rubs me the wrong way sometimes, because I'm like, and no, she don't have to stay home and cook you dinner. You know what I mean? Like, he is the type, she was a stay-at-home mom, and that was what was expected, you know? And I feel like, obviously, you know, back in the day, that was a thing. The women didn't work, they stayed home, they cooked, they cleaned, they did the laundry, they did all the things. But like, this book is written in 2003. Like, we're past that point. So this series, like, this is the 10th book in the series of 20 something. So I don't know if he gets better, or if that's just how she intends him to be written. But he is very much I'm the head of the household. You're the wife. You take care of the kids. You make sure the food's on the table when come home from work, things like that. So some of the comments that he makes to her, like if she has to go do something, or if she's whatever, he's like, well, what about dinner? What are we going to eat? How are you? Well, you better figure it out. You know what I mean? So it's just funny to me that I'm just like, meh. So he kind of rubs me wrong sometimes, but then he always usually does come around to his senses when she's like, I got to do this. I'm sorry, you know? And I don't like the way that he talks to his son in this book. He's only in the very beginning. So like, their son is now old enough to kind of help him with his construction business, and Lucy sees them outside, they're doing something, and she doesn't like the way that Bill's talking to the son. And I could get it, I could understand that. Like, I'm just like, I just didn't like it either. So yeah, so while I do still love the series, I'm definitely still continuing in all of them. I've noticed that as I'm rereading these, they're kind of only giving me mid vibes as I'm getting further in the series. Let me just see what my ratings have been. Hang on. Okay, so I just checked my ratings on this series. I have given the first 6 books 4 stars. The last 3 that I have read, so books 7, 8, and 9, I gave 3 stars. And this already has a 3-star feel. So I feel like it started off really strong, and now they're just kind of giving mid vibes. So I'm hoping that changes. I don't even think I got this far the first time I read this series. I feel like I only read the first 5 books the first time that I was reading this series. So there are 31 books in this series, and I'm on book 10. I don't know if I can read 21 more mid books. I mean, I'm going to read them because I own them. So this will be a project that I will complete. And they're really fast. These books are really fast. I mean, the audios for these are like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours on 2 times speed. So that, like, they're really fast reads. Like, I will probably have this done today, if not tomorrow. So with that said, this one's just kind of But so she goes on this trip. Of course, Bill was like, you're going to leave us for 5 days? And she's like, you'll be fine. And she's like, the kids are old enough to help out with the little ones. Like, it'll be fine. And she's like, you go out of town for this conference, for work, which I was like, good for you, girl. And so she's out of town. And she's at this convention now. And she finds out that this other newspaper is going bankrupt. And she didn't know that. And apparently it's like a really popular one. And I'm now at the point where she's supposed to go to the banquet dinner, and she accidentally walks into the wrong conference room, and she interrupts like this big blow up between the family. So, and then obviously one of them's gonna die. So that's all I know so far. But I'm getting ready to go to the at-home store. I have been working in my spare bedroom because I need to get everything pretty much cleaned out of there pretty quickly, because we're probably going to get that room carpeted, I would say, in the next couple weeks. So they came out and measured yesterday, and the guy called me and said that he's going to send me the email with all the stuff, and then I guess we will figure out when. But I get to get the stuff out of there, because literally my daughter moved downstairs into the basement but left just a bunch of stuff up in the spare bedroom in her old room. And I was like, what are we doing with this stuff? Like, you need to do something. It needs to go away, or it needs to go down where you're at. Like, we got to figure it out. So that's going to be what I'm going to be working on for the next, couple weeks or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to continue listening to this while I do some shopping, and I will check back with you guys later. I did not come back later after I finished this book. I did in fact finish this book on Father's Day. It was a really fast read. I am going to settle on 3 stars for it. I already knew that it was like feeling like a 3-star, so that was no surprise for me. Again, I am still planning on continuing in the whole series because I'm hoping maybe some of them will get better. Yeah. So I've been just waiting to close out this vlog because I never made my key lime pie from the key lime pie murder. So it's in the oven right now. I'm about to go take it out, and then I have to make the meringue. I have never made meringue, y'all. So I don't know if it's going to turn out. If it does not get stiff peaks, I'm not even putting it on my pie. We'll just have a key lime pie with no meringue on top. I don't even think I like meringue, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to scrape it off and not eat it anyway, but I'm going to attempt. I'm going to attempt to make it. So pie's in the oven. I did in fact cut myself while I was making the pie. The sweetened condensed milk can, I don't know why I didn't like completely take the lid off of it, so the lid was like hanging, and when I went to scrape it out, it right onto it. So, but I mean, who would I be if I didn't hurt myself when I was baking or doing anything? Because I'm pretty clumsy. So I'm done with my reading updates. Okay. The last part of this vlog is going to be me taste testing this pie. I don't even know if I like key lime pie. Okay, I'm here to try my pie. It's so green. It's like the green in my shirt. Okay, I may have put too much food coloring in it. So fun fact, key lime pie is not, and this is not key lime pie, this is just lime pie, because key limes are like not available anywhere. But they're also not green. So in the book I discovered this. So she said that if they're green, they've been dyed. Which makes sense because none of the ingredients that go in the pie are green. So I wanted mine to be green, so I put some food coloring in it, and it may have put too much. It's fine. It's fine. It looks like a pistachio pie. Anyway, my meringue did set up good. I mean, look, it's still fluffy. It just started separating from the actual pie. So anyway, like I said, I don't even know if I'm gonna like it, but I'm gonna try it. First bite. Here we go. I got some meringue and the pie. That is tart. That is too tart. Nah, this is not it. I'm gonna take another bite, but this is not it. No. Oh my God. It's very limey. Wow. That's not it. Dang. That is so tart. And I don't know if it's because it was regular limes. It didn't say to add less if it's a different kind. It was a lot of limes, y'all. It was only a half a cup of lime juice in the pie. That is so tart. Man. I mean, like, the consistency is good. Like, I don't mind. And my meringue setup. I mean, meringue literally doesn't taste like anything. The meringue cuts the tartness, so I could see why you have to have that. It's so tart. No. But now that I know I can make meringue, I may try my hand at a lemon pie. Lime pie is just not it. Lime needs to stay in its lane with like margaritas. That's it. No, y'all, that's not good. Anyway, not gonna save that pie. Nobody's eating this pie in this house. So that is it for this vlog, you guys. I'm going to close it out. Let me know in the comments below if you have read any of these books or read from any of these authors. Like I said, they are my favorite ladies. And yeah, if you made it this far in the video, leave a pie emoji for this key lime pie. That is not great. It's a little too tart. Anyway, until my next video, friends, be yourself, be awesome, be kind. Bye.